每一天的清晨，每一天的早上是多么的让人精神焕发。既然这样，我们为什么不抓紧时间做一些我们想做的事情呢？我想看看我能坚持多久。继续读。今天我们读什么？今天我们要读的是这个第44篇了。哇！第44篇 Food and Health， 食物和健康。加油。Nowadays, more and more people are aware that food has quite an important effect on people's health. They are taking a greater interest in food and its preparation. A whole new industry has sprung up around health foods. Health foods are foods that are believed to be good for us because they don't contain chemicals or much sugar or fat. The most popular member of this group of foods include wholemeal flour, whole grain, rice, beans, peanuts, honey, brown sugar, leaf yogurt, and dried fruit. In this unit, you will hear John Whitehead talking about the British diet. You will also hear George Wilson answering 12 questions based on current ideas about food and health. John Whitehead is a nutritionist and a dietitian with varied experience of working with food, both in the catering and medical spheres. In the following conversation, he talks to Nigel Baker about the British diet and presents criticism leveled at it by various health experts. Can you tell me a little about the typical British diet? The typical diet of the British working people or working person is quite refined. By that I mean that the food lacks roughage, and if they do have roughage, it is because they've been told by their doctor to sprinkle on bran, which is quite a recent innovation. But the white sliced loaf and fried food are typical of the working household, with chips quite often because the mother is working and she might send the children out for chips or takeaway, or she will cook chips, or perhaps sausages, and cheaper meats which do have quite a lot of additives, and a lack of fresh vegetables on the whole, and if they are used, then they are rather overcooked, and as a result, a lot of the nutrients are lost. In this diet, changing in any way then, changes are imposed due to the fact that doctors are beginning to think that that is actually important to people's health. Whereas 10 years ago, the medical professions as a whole didn't really think that food was that important. What kind of changes then are taking place or are being imposed? Well, quite a lot of research work has been done by important nutritional bodies, and this had led to the realization that food has quite an important effect on people's health, and also that certain diseases can in fact result from a poor diet. Do you think that this outside advice is likely to change the British diet? I think the problem is with people who are generally healthy. Their diet is changed mostly when they are shocked by being ill in one way or another. But there is evidence to show that people are actually eating more wholemeal bread. The 100% wholemeal loaf is always the first to go in supermarkets or bakers. and family-wide white loaves are left lying on the shelves. So a change is taking place? Yes, I think so. Now going back to the nutritionist and what they would recommend, to what extent would the diet of the working people need to change to be acceptable in health terms to nutritionists and the members of the medical profession? Well, one of the problems at the moment is that there is no control over food additives. In fact, somebody who's out working and uses convenience foods can take in an awful lot of coloring, emulsifiers, and flavoring in prepared food, and it isn't really known what effect even small doses of these additives can have on people. So that's one of the things factors to consider. What about all this fried food that you mentioned at the beginning? Well, I think that changes are occurring as far as fried food is concerned. And that again has got to do with the doctor saying to people, you've got a heart condition, you've got high blood pressure, cut down the fat in your diet, don't deep fried things, don't cook things in butter, and if you do use fat, use vegetable oils. And people are taking notice of this because the doctor is looked upon as somebody who really knows all about this. Because we have one of the highest incidences of heart-related conditions in Europe. Do you think that this high incidence of heart disease is caused by our diet? Yes, I think it is brought about by our diet. I think probably it is also due to stress. Stress makes people eat wrongly. I think one of the things that happens is that somebody is under stress and won't take proper meal breaks, and they eat chocolate bars and snacks and so on. Are you pessimistic or optimistic about the future of the British diet? Do you think that people will take heed of what doctors are saying to make a significant impact on the British diet and change it into a healthier diet? Yes, I think there's quite a lot of evidence that people are taking more interest in diet and are beginning to change it. Even in the past 5 years, there's been an increase in interest in eating less meat, partly owing to the high price of meat. But this is a good thing because they are looking at the diet and eating more vegetables. And also many institutions are adding vegetarian opinions to their diet and also wholemeal bread, particularly in colleges and hospitals. So I am optimistic for the future because I think that we are becoming more diet conscious. All of us eat every day, but most of us don't understand nutrition. How much do you know about good nutrition? Please answer these 12 questions based on current ideas about food and health. The answers, how might surprise you? The answers may surprise you. How much do you know about nutrition if your knowledge is similar to that of food shoppers who answered 3 surveys for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration? Then you probably share some widespread misinformation about nutrition. Are the following statements true or false? You'll get a proper nourishment if you just eat a variety of foods. False. Variety is not a guarantee of good nutrition, but adults can generally get a balanced diet by including several servings daily from the 4 main food group, 2 or more from the milk group, 2 or more from the meat group, 4 more from the bread group, 4 more from the vegetables and fruit groups. People who don't eat meat or fish can still stay healthy. True, as long as people eat enough dairy foods, eggs, and meat alternates, they can get essential protein. OK， 加油！吃健康的食物，保证一个良好的状态，迎接每一天的早上。